So, welcome to the Amateurs Abroad, and we decided to do a podcast because there's so many questions that keep getting answered over and over again, and we're about to go over to Italy. So, wanted to answer some of the basic questions before we get there, and introduce you to my sister Lisa, my little sister
Hello.
Lisa. And she is now being dragged along this crazy journey with me, and we'll see how it goes. Right now, I just nervous about what we're walking into when we get there because of based on how much of the construction's done, but it'll be good. It'll all be good, right?
It'll be amazing.
I
Hopefully.
I love how though I sold it to you like, hey, let's go to Italy for the summer, this wonderful, beautiful house, and now it's like, hey, let's go to Italy for the summer. I don't know about our rental car. It could be just some car in the guy's garage, and my house doesn't have a kitchen. We don't have furniture yet. It's going to be raining the day that we arrive, so I don't know if furniture will actually be delivered. So let's go camp out, but we have utilities, so that's the important thing.
Yay!
And we have a debit card, so we can go
Yeah,
get food.
it's hard to get people to feel sorry for you for not having those items when you're still going to Italy. So
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, 1%
yeah,
problems. You're like,
I feel
no,
bad for you.
right. Like, I wish I was 1%, but yes, these problems do sound, insignificant based
Right.
on the geography. But so I guess the question first that everyone asks is, why am I even doing this? Which I think you've asked
Oh
before,
yeah.
but you're on
Yes. Like
board now.
what yeah. What made you like what brought you to this journey? Like what on God's green earth did you decide this is a
Well,
great new idea?
I think it was part midlife crisis, probably a lot midlife crisis, but I don't think it's an unusual not like get a Corvette just get a house in
Right.
Italy, but not that kind
I mean, same price,
of
so
when I say it that way, but not like more of okay, I had a total mental breakdown when I was going through menopause, and so I was really nuts, and then I kind of reevaluated life because I was also at that time seeing like hearing about people I went to school that passed away and of natural causes
yeah.
and other people in the paper and I'm 53 and it'll say oh so and so died at 57 and not a thing like died young at 57 or didn't
Right.
have time to live a full life and I'm just like whoa wait a minute and so I guess mortality really kind of sunk in more that like there's not time like what am I waiting for to do all these things that I want to do and a
Right.
lot of the time I was kind of waiting like you wait for your kids and stuff and my son's 31 and he just got married and they're starting their own life and we live 2.5 hours away so I don't see him I still am important to him and we talk on the phone all the time we have a great relationship but I'm not present in his daily life and so that was an adjustment too and knowing that that's what it's going to be moving forward and so that leaves me all this time and I work from home and I could do my own schedule and it
Mhm.
was more like what are you waiting for because tomorrow is not guaranteed and I've told you and I've told my son and I've told everybody that if I die tomorrow like I've lived a good life. Like, don't be like, oh, she didn't
Right.
do this. But I still want more. Like, why isn't it okay to want more?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the thrust of it. And I think, too, women are like put everyone's needs before theirs
Mhm.
so long. And
Absolutely.
so it's kind of, and even though I've been single and been able to make my own choices all the time, I'm always want to be available for other people. And so it took a while in my head to know you're not going to be the first phone call because you're going to be 9 hours away. And that was, it took a bit, but that was okay. So
Yeah.
that's why I was like, why not? And I love traveling. And the other thing is, and I think I've told you that my dream has always been that every summer I spend the summer in another country, just to like really
Right.
immerse myself in that country, not to visit, not to do because the first time you visit a country, you do the tourist things, and then the next time you
Right.
kind of get another outer rung. And so I wanted to really feel like I was a part of other countries when I traveled, and that just hasn't happened. I've been like 2 weeks here, 3 weeks here, which is great. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's not. I'm very fortunate, but at the same time, um, flying from California is not easy. It's
Right.
especially as you get older, it totally kicks in that you need a day to, and then that sucks up one of your days. So I really wanted a home base somewhere in Europe, and um, I I just always wanted to have that immersion, and this I feel like is the easiest way that you're not
Hmm.
hauling suitcases to live over there. You're not hauling
Yeah.
suitcases. You've got all your stuff there. I can now, after this trip, I can take a carry-on and just go, and which kind of makes me feel like 20 again, where you're like, I just need a bathing suit and
And a backpack. I'm good to go.
red, yeah, I'm good to travel, and that's not the case now. And so all my stuff's gonna be there, and I could just pick up and go. So yeah.
So I know that we travel a lot as a family. We do a bunch of
Mm,
whichever family can join us
right.
is welcome to come. Did that? Did all those different trips kind of help you decide where it was that you wanted to have that hub? Like, how did you
Oh,
decide
for
on
sure.
Italy?
Yeah, for sure. Because like we've gone to Ireland, Scotland, Paris, Italy, China, um, when we were long, Venezuela, like
Yeah.
Germany, all over. So Amsterdam, I'm forgetting, but so we've traveled all over. But I feel so much at home in Italy, and it's just like, oh. And I remember your son and I, after he graduated high school, he's now 27, but after he graduated high school, um, he and I went on a trip to Italy, and we're walking around, and I'm like, how can we live here? Like, we're both looking at each other like, how can we live here? And we had an idea, like, you know what? Let's start a kettle corn business, because they don't have kettle corn here, and I'm sure the tourists would love kettle corn. And then we walked by this realtor, how they have all the houses in the window, and we're like, okay, yeah, I can get that one. I can get that one. And we were in
Right.
Florence then too, because Rome was too like busy LA kind of
Yes.
feeling. I mean, clearly it has coliseums and like the major stuff,
Yeah.
but Florence was it. And then you look, I'm like, okay, that I can do that. I can afford
Hmm.
that. And then those things are great, but the things that you can afford are like a one bedroom or a two bedroom. And that wasn't
Right.
my goal. My goal is to share it all with a family. So I knew I wanted Italy. I knew Italy, it's like California, northern and southern, completely different.
Yeah.
Every region in Italy, completely different. So if I just go around Italy, that's plenty. But
Right.
like when we're going this time, we're flying into Madrid. So we're going, one, because the flights are cheaper. And then the flights were cheaper to Madrid. So let's just spend a couple days there and then go over to Palermo and to the house and stuff in Sicily. So it's a great bouncing off point, but there's so much to do without having to have that extra layer of travel. So that's why. And then, so I've been back and forth several times and just never had a bad experience. And the food is amazing. And so I don't know a negative thing about Italy. People say stuff about the mob, like, "Oh, you're going to," and that's not like I think they've all died.
Because
So
it's Sicily.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think what the misconception is now is all the I do think the like old mafia guys are dead, but it is a lot about relationships and
Hmm.
in a way that it's not in the States. And so I think that they feel that that's kind of like a handshake and a wink mob thing. No, it's
Well,
not.
that and
It's just
that
people.
respect factor too. They
Yeah.
have very much respect for elders and all and
Yes,
those who came before
very
them.
much.
Hmm.
Yes, very, very much. That's true. So it's
So
it's a different concept.
I hear. Okay, so we've been everywhere in Italy, but I have myself have not been to Sicily. Like,
No.
what brought you there?
Okay, so the big things are the price. Clearly,
Gotcha.
you can get much more house in Sicily, but I also feel like I don't know, 20 years ago, Panama was something that expats started to go to, and it's become a real retirement hub. And so in Sicily, a lot of the homes are vacant because people have literally died, and the younger generations have all gone to the mainland of Italy and gone to the bigger cities and gone to the universities, and they don't want to come back.
Gotcha. Hmm.
And there's not a lot of job opportunities, and so in the same regard, so if you're wanting to go, don't go thinking you're going to be working. That's just not going to happen anywhere in Italy, really. You have to be fluent to get a job, and then two, you have to have such an amazing skill above an Italian. Because Italians don't have, and I'm not going there to take someone's job either. So
Right.
if you're gonna go and you want to, you have to be doing something remote. And my thing is more of a seasonal thing, so I can go back and forth. So that's why I'm able to do this. But so Sicily was that, and the weather. So because it's a more Mediterranean climate, the
Hmm.
northern part of Italy snows and colder, and the southern part is much warmer, longer. That might totally bite in the summer. because we are going to be at the warmest part of Italy.
Guess we'll find
But
out.
we're on an island. Yeah, exactly. We're on an island, and the humidity is something though that like you're in Arizona, which is dry heat, and then I'm in
Right.
California, and it's not. We do not have that. And I lived in Florida for that 2 years, and our brother lives in Florida now, and I remember in February, I'm like, oh God, this humidity is this going to be this bad all year? And he looked at me like I was insane because no one local feels humidity in February, and I was. So he gave me that look like you are going to have a hard time this summer. And I did. I didn't like it. My neck was sweating all the time. Like there was no drying off completely. So I am nervous about that. But the reasons why I wanted to be there were the climate for sure, the prices for sure, and the communities there are just, and it's not, I didn't want a touristy town, and the
Right.
communities are amazing. And there's a saying that I saw that Sicily is, the people in Sicily are like the climate, very warm, and that's exactly what
Oh,
I've experienced. So I'm happy with my choice for sure. Yeah.
excellent. Well, I'm excited and nervous to go along with you on your
I
adventure.
know. I know. I know.
I was gonna stop taking your phone calls for a while there because every time you called, hey, we might not have a
Yeah.
kitchen. Hey, it's apparently
Yeah.
really humid. Hey, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
stop calling me.
And I don't
But
have air conditioning, and I don't have air conditioning too.
right.
So,
So
yeah, yeah.
it is definitely gonna be an
Yeah.
adventure, one way or another.
Yes, I think so. So, hopefully people will enjoy the adventure. We'll definitely, like,
Right.
our lives are always an I Love Lucy kind of story. So,
Right.
we'll share what that is and also share like real stuff because I get very frustrated when people share, oh, my utility bill's only this much, or oh, here are my outfits. Guess what? You're not going to see all my outfits because I have to shimmy into them, and I'm not going to be sweating and be like, woohoo, this is what I now look like. That's not my reality. It's their reality, and good for them. And they can have long nails and look beautiful, but that is not my reality. And so, but the some things that you can't change. The utility bills are going to be what they are, and that
Yeah.
doesn't matter if I look skinny or not skinny. But the thing
It's
is,
funny
I
that
think
you
that
mentioned nails because that was like the first question I asked you.
I
When did you want to come? I'm like, do they have nail salons there?
and I was like, what kind of bougie person are you? And then I think it was more like you're trying to be better with self-care, and that's just, especially because you're a teacher, and so you don't get time to yourself. And that's a time where you can just sit still and have someone take care of you. But I was like, what kind of question is that? And you're like, is your village have a nail salon? And now I'm Googling it, and I'm like, and the thing is, too, is I'm Googling it, but knowing not every, like they have nothing on Google, and even if it's on there,
Right.
the hours aren't right, the store names are like
Right.
it's not right. And so I'm like, yeah, there's one here, and I'm like, well, we can go to Agrigento, which is 35 minutes away, and I know for sure they do. So yes, you will have your nails done, Miss
Right.
Gigi. uh, but anyway, so I hope that people enjoy the experience and follow us also on TikTok and Instagram, and they can ask questions for us there. So if there's any
Mhm.
questions you want us to cover in the podcast, and we will. But I think we got a list so far. We'll try to get those covered and do our best. But I think it's called The Amateurs Abroad because really everyone can be an amateur, and you just have to picture your life in a different way. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Take that leap.
All right. Yes, take the leap. So, all right. So next time, I think we're talking about what are we talking about next time?
How did you tell your
Oh,
family? I think,
yeah,
right?
what
Or
everyone said about it. Yeah. So, okay, next time we're going to talk about everyone's opinions. That'll be fun. All right. But stay tuned. Thanks for joining us. Bye bye.